Do you find yourself constantly feeling trapped in box one? This is really common for beginner to intermediate guitar players, especially when they start learning how to improvise or learning a few different solos. Luckily, with a little bit of work, it's pretty easy to break out of that dreaded box one. These 3 licks will instantly open up the neck and help you move around the fretboard with way more freedom. Let's go. So today we've got 3 licks, all in B minor, utilising the pentatonic box system. The great thing about all 3 of these licks is that you only need to learn one pattern, utilising your index finger and your ring finger, and once you've learned that pattern, it's just a case of knowing where the position shifts are. So let's get into the first lick. So I'll play the lick really slowly, just so you can follow along. So this lick's cool because it goes through position 5, 1 and 2 of the pentatonic box system. The only thing that you need to be careful with when you're learning this lick is just the different slides. So the way that I'm playing it is a lot of hammer-ons and pull-offs and slides. You probably could pick this, but it's probably easier to actually just learn it legato like I have. So the first position shift would be from box 5 up to 1, sliding up with your index finger. So like this. So you need to be really accurate with this. The hardest position shift in this lick is from box 1 to box 2. So you're starting on the 7th fret of the G string, hitting the 9th, sliding up to the 11th, and then from here you need to use your index finger to hit the 10th fret of the B string, so this note. So the position shift is... The way that I find it easiest is by sliding up and then adjusting my hand position so that I can hit the 10th fret of the B string. So when I'm here, I kind of do this. And the only other position shift in this lick is we actually kind of briefly touch box 3, which is the 14th fret of the E string, when we slide back down. So just be really careful with learning this lick. It is probably the easiest one of the 3. So once you kind of master this one, it'll be easier to get the other ones down. You can get all of these tabs for free down at the link in my description. Just click that link, download the tabs, and then if it's easier for you, you can follow along from there. So we're going to the second lick now. This is similar to the first lick, but the rhythm is slightly different. So let's get into it. Again, so we're still using just these 2 fingers for all of this lick. So we start off here on the 12th fret of the E string, and the pattern goes like this. Then you repeat the same pattern on the A string. So the lick so far. And then from here we hit the 12th fret of the D string, then the 14th, and then we slide up with our index finger. And then this is where we go back to a similar rhythm to the first lick, where we play like this. So the lick so far. So we hit the 17th fret of the E string up to the 19th and pull off again. And then we slide from the 17th down to the 15th fret of the B string, which ends the lick. So the lick in total. And lastly, we've got the third lick. To me, this is probably the hardest one to play, but I also think it sounds the coolest. So let's get into it. So the majority of this lick is spent around position 4 of the pentatonic box system. It's probably the hardest box to learn in my opinion, just because there's some quite tricky position shifts within the box, but that means it's really, really handy to learn so that you don't get stuck here if you do end up in box 4. So I'll play the lick really slowly and then we'll break it down. So the hardest part of the lick is probably the first bit. We have some awkward position shifts. So we're starting off here on the 14th fret of the G string, and then we hammer up to the 16th fret. And then from here, we hit the 15th fret of the B string, up to the 17, pull off down to the 15, then hit the 16th of the G string. So already in the first few notes of this lick, you've already got a weird position shift, i.e. there's kind of no easy way of doing this, you just have to practice it and get it up to speed. And then from here we go, and then we're sort of briefly touching on box 5 with the 19th fret of the E string. The way that I find this easiest to play is with my index, my ring finger, and then my little finger. This is the only part where you actually have to use something other than your ring and index finger. Another awkward part of this lick is on the run down. You have to use this sort of finger rolling technique. It's on the 16th fret of the G string, and we pull off down to the 14th and go like this. That can be a little bit awkward if you've not played this kind of thing before. So we hit this. Position shift with our index finger down into box 3, hitting the 12th fret of the D string. And then end on the B note, which is the 14th note of the A string. So the lick in total. This is a really useful pattern to know, especially when it comes to soloing using the pentatonic box system. With this one pattern, you can get in and out of all the different pentatonic box shapes across the neck. So it's worth experimenting with these different licks, putting them into your solos, and just trying to find out your own patterns across the neck and see what works. I'll have the tabs available for free. Just head down to my description and hit the link. I hope you guys get some use out of these licks. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.